I was moving a bookshelf, of course, with all the books in it because I didn't want to take the time to remove them, and ended up straining my quadricep. Then thought in my infinite wisdom the best thing was just to alternate ice and heat and take a little ibuprofen. This continued on for, a week and a half. I kept thinking it was going to get better. It wasn't getting better.
So I finally convinced him to see his good friend, Dr. Brian Frito, with whom he went to high school.
And that happened to be on Christmas Eve. He called me at home. I've known Chad for a long time, and I told him to just come on over and I'd be happy to see him.
When Brian took a look at it, he said, "Hey, buddy, you said you sprained your leg. This is not orthopedic."
I sent Chad to the ER, still refusing to go. As he left my house, Amy and I spoke, and I said, if he doesn't go to the ER, call me and I'll make him go to the ER.
Come to find out on Christmas Eve, there's a lot of people doing funny things. So once we got into the room, started running, basic diagnostics there. They were concerned at the time, perhaps, that it was a blood clot. They ran a complete ultrasound on my leg to check for blood clots, and luckily that came back as negative. And then the next test was the CAT scan.
A CT scan of his leg revealed a massive infection inside the leg.
He was completely septic and probably 24 to 30 hours away from dying.
So it's critical that if you have a medical issue or a medical emergency, that you go somewhere close and you're evaluated immediately with advanced technology that can diagnose the problem and begin the life-saving treatments or treatments that are going to really make a difference right away.
When Chad got out of surgery on Christmas morning, it was clear that he had been in a bad way, and that it was due to the right diagnosis and immediate care that he was doing so well.
You don't want to waste time being transported or going somewhere out of the area when you can begin treatment here locally, and that's when those treatments really can make a difference. Yeah, we're the only state-designated trauma center within 35 minutes of the Napa Valley. We have all the major service lines that one would need in an emergency room, from some of the finest cardiac surgeons to cardiologists to neurosurgeons to neurologists. And we have surgeons available 24/7. So we're so lucky to have all of the services that we have here.
It's not a typical community hospital. It actually has many of the assets and resources that you would typically find in large tertiary care hospitals.
In fact, if you're presented with a medical emergency or some other situation that requires urgent care, you'll find the Queen of the Valley Medical Center has facilities that are on par with those of the university hospitals in the Bay Area. Our state-of-the-art facilities, such as the hybrid operating room and Da Vinci robot, put Queen of the Valley Medical Center at the forefront of hospitals nationwide. We receive many awards and distinctions each year. Our Cancer Care Center has just received a new 3-year accreditation with commendation from the American College of Surgeons. This is the 3rd time we have received this distinction for providing the highest quality of care for cancer patients. Blue Cross and Blue Shield has named Queen of the Valley Medical Center a center of distinction for cardiac care, hip and knee replacement, and spine surgery. Finally, we are very proud to be recognized as one of the top hospitals in the Bay Area.
I wasn't surprised by the quality of care at the hospital medically. I was really surprised that the nurses were so understanding of the difficulties that the families are going through. After Chad's surgery, some of the nurses pulled me aside and they looked me, directly in the eye, and they said, you need to go home and you need to take care of your kids because we've got this and you can sleep. And they wrote down my cell phone and they promised me that they would call if they were worried. And that's the only reason why I was able to sleep at all for weeks.
The culture of care here is family. If you think about family, you care about your family, and you want to make sure that their needs are taken care of. It extends not just to the patient, but to their family that they bring with them.
I've worked with St. Joseph Health Queen of the Valley for over 30 years as a registered nurse. And I'm here because of the mission and because of the compassionate care that's provided. Within this department, I have found that we're able to meet people where they're at, in the community, in their homes, when they need help, and really take the time that it takes to help someone through some difficult times. Through the Community Outreach Department alone, we provide 6 programs that impact over 8,000 lives. And I think what's most important is for those 8,000 lives per year, that equals 60,000 encounters per year.
Es un programa muy bueno, con personas muy finas, que tienen mucha humildad y mucha humanidad, que te tratan bien, que es cuando más lo necesitas tú, que es cuando más necesitas ese apoyo.
Our budget is for just over a 1% operating margin, income from operations. That's pretty much what you find in the healthcare industry for a well-run hospital. The biggest change we're seeing, and it's industry-wide, is a move from volume to value, where hospitals are reimbursed instead of for doing procedures and creating some billable event with a patient, to being reimbursed for value, where we are rewarded for keeping people healthy and out of the hospital. That is not only the right direction to go in, that is absolutely consistent with our mission here at St. Joseph Health to extend the healing ministry of Jesus and improve the health and quality of life of the people in our communities.
It's impossible for the operating income of the hospital to pay for all of the upgrades that we need over time. The kind of a culture of philanthropy that we're trying to create here at the hospital, we're in effect almost creating our own budget to take care of the needs outside of just running the hospital. Because the operating margin is only 1%. So this is an ongoing issue. Some years ago, when I was having trouble with my heart, I ended up making 3 trips to the cath lab. I hope when and if I need a 4th trip to the cath lab, it will be on new equipment. I want, when the doc is in there poking around, I want him to have the best possible equipment he can.
The pictures will be better. We'll be able to see the arteries much better than in this current system. So we'll be able to place our catheters and stents more precisely. They will receive substantially less radiation, and so it'll be safer for the patient overall.
As a community, it really behooves us to get behind an institution like the Queen of the Valley and support it at every level that we can, because when we need to end up in the hospital, we want to make sure that we've already supported it to the degree that we'll have that world-class facility right here in our backyard.
The surgery on Christmas morning was so successful in helping Chad to beat the staph. He is almost fully recovered. He has full use of his leg. He's working out every day. I'm sure we all know people who have been helped by the Queen and saved by the Queen. and helping an institution in our community that is so supportive of our community and helps us all to be healthier, is an incredibly important thing.
The community support has allowed us to attract the kinds of physicians and care partners and nurses and techs that have made the quality of care available in this little valley comparable with what you'll find in very large metropolitan areas, in fact, large cities. I dedicate that all to the support we've had from the community.
But none of this would be possible without the generous support of our many donors. None of this would be possible without private philanthropy. And for this support, we are extremely grateful.